Hi guys, today we're looking at the Kicker IK501. It's a product that's been out for quite a while. When it first came out, I thought, we'll see. I think it was prices were substantially higher than they are now. Just a quick overview of it. It's not a huge system. It's fairly small, fairly compact. Nothing fancy about it. It kind of reminds me of Darth Vader, to be perfectly honest with you. And if you're old school like I am, you can remember back in the heyday, Kicker was the stuff. And the back of our cars, we used to thump, thump, thump. Well, this can literally give you that Kicker sound. I mean, and to be so small, it's nothing that will it won't turn your house over, or but it could very well potentially get the law caught on you. And it's compatible with all iPods, iPhones, and it's also compatible with any other MP3 or Android system through via means of a 3/4 inch a jack cord plug. But I really like the remote system on it. It's an infrared remote, and it literally controls everything on the iPod. Let's see if we can get it all. There we go. Okay. Volume up and down. You can change music. You can every menu you can turn it on and off. Every menu that's available through the iPod is available via the remote, which Bose does not offer, which the majority of sound docks, to the best of my knowledge, do not offer. Now, as far as sound goes, it's got kicking sound. It really does thump, thump, thump. But there's a trick to it. For some reason, the guys at Kicker, or the Stillwater Designs, I don't know if they're still Stillwater Designs or not, but anyway, the guys who developed the Kicker, the software or the user interface in this thing, in the settings menu, always cuts the EQ completely off, because they say that that the system itself is EQ'd perfectly, therefore it does not need it. I find every time that when I put if I pull the iPod off and put it back on, I find that if I play it back in their flat EQ, which is, don't get me wrong, flat curve EQ is great, but for the music I listen to, which is mostly rock, some R&B, little rap, throw in a little country, believe it or not. But if I EQ it to the rock setting, this thing will pump. I mean, it's very, very satisfying sound. Mid ranges are not quite. I would say the low end and the highs are really what shine on it. The mid ranges are there, but not as profound as the bass. Of course, I mean that's what it's designed for. It's not a flat EQ. It's not a flat EQ. It's not. You don't get a flat response. You don't get a flat response, of course not. But it's compatible. Here's the 4S. Me personally, I like it better with this one, but that's just my preference. Same here. It automatically sends the EQ into a flat response, or turns the EQ off. It's compatible with, to the best of my knowledge, everything I've hooked, every iOS system, and I am an Apple fanboy. Sorry guys, but I really like my Apple products. So far, every Apple product I've put on it has worked, and I've got a substantial collection of iPods and iPhones. So, all right, now specifics. And what I've done, I put some Velcro on the back of the remote, which I hooked it on here. Now, specifics, it has this, which a lot of people, this is something that's, they criticize the fact that it has a 6-inch passive. It's clearly stated it's a passive subwoofer. It definitely makes a difference. When the booger is pumping, it's extremely loud for a boombox. For something this small, it's incredibly loud and incredibly clear for a small system. It's perfect. Me personally, I use it in the kitchen. I think it sounds great. I'm old. I listen to. I'm older. I listen to more of a subdued volume than I used to, so I really don't jam. But this thing is loud, and something I really like about it, I don't use it much, but it has composite video, so you can hook up an RCA system to your television and through your iPhone, your iPod, your iOS device, or I'm guessing just no, it would work with anything you have video on and you want to watch it, or if you got photographs or anything else, you can run it through your television, your TV right here, which is something that I would, I've used it a couple times. It's good, it's great, I like it stuff, but it's not that big a deal, but it is an added feature that I really like. I threw some Velcro on the backside because if I don't, I'll lose it. It just makes sense to me. I wish they had incorporated some kind of a pocket. I think there's a couple of systems that do have a pocket, maybe Altec or I can't think. But anyway, I really like the remote. It works really good. One complaint is, if you notice, I've had some tape around this. Now, keep in mind, I have had this since September of 2010, so it's been moved around considerably. So, but on this end, raw wire started popping up on the cable. Not a big deal, I'm fairly self-sufficient, so I was able to tape it up, no big deal. But it happened on that end and on the other end before plugging into the transformer thing, which makes me think that maybe a little bit of fault there, maybe a little bit of it gives me reason to believe that it's a manufacturer defect. But other than that, this thing has been pretty flawless. The remote sometimes. The batteries have died in the remote once, so I've replaced the batteries once but other than that, this thing's been super. It comes with, like I said, the 6-inch reflex. Now keep in mind, it is a passive reflex, which means it's not really a speaker. It just basically moves air around and really helps with the bass. And it definitely works. There's no question about that. It has two 5-inch subwoofers here, of course, and 2 3/4-inch tweeters, the auxiliary input, which allows you to use different MP3 players other than iOS, which me personally, I like the Apple products, and plus I like to charge my, I usually just charge my iPod, but if need be, I can charge my iPhone, or you can charge any iOS product with it, of course. The RCA jacks are great. If you got, in particular in a bedroom, if you got a small system, you got a small television and a small space, you want to throw in a little bit of a kick with the theater system. Why not? I mean, it sounds good. It really does. Credit card remote is great. Carry handle, I don't particularly care for the carry handle. It's not deep enough, and when you pick it up, it wants to fall forward, and I always end up putting my hands underneath it because it. Well, I don't want to drop it and break it. But it weighs 15 pounds. 15, that is, not 50. Sorry for the southern accent, but it's me. I paid like $170 for it, which is substantially less than the Bose. And I'm sorry, I've compared these side by side with the Bose. And to be perfectly honest, the Bose beats it as far as the bass goes. But with this dude, you can crank it up much louder than the Bose and catch up with the bass, if that makes any sense whatsoever. The bass will catch up at louder volumes. The Bose sound dock seems to throw off bass at a lower volume, or more bass at a lower volume than the kicker. That's definitely not a killer for me. I would choose this system over the Bose any day. And people, And I'm sure people will respond and say, "You're nuts, you're nuts, you're nuts." Keep in mind, this is 160. I paid $168 for it, and I'm pretty sure they're cheaper than that now. It's 40 watts RMS. It's 20 watts per speaker, and the passive, of course. And for anyone who needs to know this, I don't know what it means, but it has a response bandwidth of 50 to 200,000 hertz. Now, the reason I state that isn't because I know what I don't really. Truthfully, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that means, but I do know Bose refuses to release the information, the data, or anything else on their products. There's a reason for that, because they are so far they're lacking. Otherwise, they would let you know the frequency response, the bandwidth of them. So, like I said, the bandwidth on this is from 50 hertz to 200,000 hertz. And again, that doesn't mean anything to me. I'll be frank and honest. But to a lot of people who understand it and know what it means, they understand that it reaches a frequency range from 50 to 200,000. Which, good, bad, whatever, you tell me. Thanks, guys, for watching. Pick one up. It's you can't go wrong. And now I'm pretty sure they're coming down in price and down in price and down in price. And it's good filler. It's not the prettiest thing on the planet, but it's a good filler, and it sounds really nice. You can put it on a bookshelf in a bedroom in particular, and like I do, put it on the counter in the kitchen. Other than, let's say, I don't particularly care for the brick, the AC adapter, this thing. I don't really care for that. Or there's another situation of where the wire sort of frayed a little bit on me. I don't really care for that because it takes up so much space. I wish it was a little smaller and more discreet. But I hide it beside my refrigerator on the granite beside my refrigerator. So again, it's the kicker IK501. It also comes in a Z series for the Zoom, which I don't even know. Do they still make the Zoom? but you could hook the Zoom up to this if you want to via the auxiliary jack. So I really like it. I wish that I could crank it for you guys. I mean, the guys with the headphones, but YouTube and their copyright laws. If I did, they would take it. They would simply take the video down, which is ridiculous, or they would give credit to the artist, and it's like, hey, if I play it, the artist is getting credit. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is Goob with a camera.